it's hard to envision before we actually play, but if you, when you get in the match, it's similar to like competitive team games at MOBAs where characters have roles, and it's a little easier to understand emotion for sure.
Absolutely. So yeah, this is going to be a very interesting match. A more traditional team of Montero, Full Saber, 2K, 3K, and then a double 1.5K team, which is a bit more unconventional. So it'll be very interesting to see how both teams kind of navigate the neutral game here, because it's going to be.
Yep, and nobody swaps. So we're just going to be seeing pretty much a very standard team versus kind of a weird one. So
yeah, very weird team. But it's good. This is really just showing how unique you can be when it comes to team composition.
So starting off with Garo, one big thing with this game is that every action takes boost, which is a resource that you use it to move, use it to attack.
Right on the screen.
The more boost you use, the more punishable you are when you land. Basically, you know how in standard games you have kind of recovery frames of like, okay, so this move is like 3 frames. You can punch it with 3 frames. You can punch it with 6 frames, right? Yep. In Gundam, the more boost you use, the more punishable you are. So there's this kind of dynamic of using movement and using your tools, and the more actions you take, the more punishable you are. Therefore, you have to balance everything you do has to be done with purpose, basically. Yes. So to get that, now that that's out of the way, we can just talk about the game. There's a lot of shit happening, like within the first seconds of the match.
There's a lot of violence going on. I guess we can just start with the basics. Full Saber, which is what we're focusing on. So Full Saber is a more aggressively minded 3K. He has very good melee performance. He has a lot of tools that help him succeed in close range, and he's very boost efficient.
A big thing with this character is his role in a team is he basically stands right in front of you, and you and your teammate are both shooting at him, and you guys both can't hit him. But if you stop looking at him, he'll actually kill you. So
yes.
He has his iconic moves to me are he has his flipping knife throw, which is his sub, and that allows him to quickly land and get himself out of dangerous situations while putting out an aggressive attack. And his other move is he shoots a laser, and the laser's pretty straightforward. If it hits you, you might just lose.
The laser has very good tracking. It's very large, and it does a lot of damage. Just don't get hit by it.
It's very straightforward, right? Like it's a laser. So, also the laser is also called a Garobi, which is the Japanese onomatopoeia for throwing up. So that's very charming,
So the other really cool thing about Full Saber is that it has very easy access to what's called a fast fall maneuver, where essentially it can cancel its main shooting attack into that saber toss attack, and then it can cancel.
What's happening is Full Saber is using his meter, and basically meter usage in this game is the most important thing in the game. This good meter usage. And there's good meter usage from Buster as well. That meter usage basically meter usage in this game decides the outcome of the match most of the time.
Absolutely.
Oh, and what is that? So game 1 goes to Buster and Camphor.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, but right there you saw that Camphor is very dominating shooting burst. Is really what clinched them out at the end of that set. At the end of that match, it was, it's very hard to deal with unless you're kind of like already prepared for it.
Yeah. Wait, can Funky hear us right now?
That is actually a good question.
Funky?
Oh, yeah.
So, usually when we start the match, we decide which character we're gonna look at. So, you might have to listen in.
Or we can just let him know in the chat if you want, if you prefer that.
Is that for the best? What should we do?
You want us to just at you in the stream chat which suit we're gonna watch for the match? Yeah. Okay. So, what do you want to do for the next match? I was thinking maybe Camphor to kind of display how important meter usage is. Yeah.
Let's do Camphor and to see something very different from Full Saber.
Yeah. Well. Oh shit.
What's up?
Oh no, don't worry about it. I was saying that, as Andrew was saying, burst usage, the meter in this game, essentially when you deal damage, take damage, and when your partner dies, you build up the bottom left side of the screen, your burst gauge, and when it fills up to at least half, you can use it to gain several buffs for your suit depending on which burst you choose. There's 3 types of burst in this game. There is S burst, which enhances the performance of your shooting attacks, making them...
we are getting ready to
Yeah.
Yeah, but, well, we can go through the burst. But, okay, so we have Camper, a character like Camper is basically the polar opposite of Full Saber to me. So what I think of as Full Saber is he's very stable, he's very consistent and dangerous, and he can fall back and play a lot of different roles if he needs to.
Defensively.
Camper can only kill himself, basically. Like
he can only run into you.
He basically just has to run into you and go ape shit. So like, but on the other hand, he's very good at it. So
this suit is the epitome of violence.
Yeah, he basically just runs in and he goes ape shit. And
if you want to never stop moving forward until your enemies are defeated,
pretty much. So Camper is just incredibly. And because he's a low cost, he can just keep the thing with Camper is that he interacts very interestingly with the concept of like the cost, which is that every time he hits you, he is trying to trade it off. So the idea is that he's okay with trading because it is ever in his favor.
Any trade that Camper makes is good for Camper.
Exactly. The Camper Super, which is a pretty good move, but unfortunately he got shot out of it.
Fortunately, he got shot out of it, and he was still in burst, so that is going to be a bit of a...
It's just the first death on Camper. He can still die 2 more times.
Yeah, no, he is not
of the character.
Especially with the Buster support.
If we're talking about the iconic moves that Camper has, I think of it as his flipping rock, the move where he flips and shoots rockets and stuff, and that move, the chain mine. So the chain mine, he just does 1 million damage, and he has to manually reload it by physically bringing it out.
It is a melee attack with ammo, which is very unique in this game.
In that situation, there was nothing you could do to avoid that punish. But this S burst changed everything. So the meter usage will decide how this match
well, I mean, this is looking very good for the lower cost team right now. They've got all the HP.
But if he takes another Garo, they will lose straight up.
Yes, absolutely. So
the thing about this game is that HP is transient and immaterial. You can really lose off getting hit once or twice, like more or less. Like,
absolutely.
Getting hit once or twice can actually lose you the whole match. So every interaction is very important.
The margin for error in this game is very, very low. Wow, nice Yorodi. I think we should watch Buster next just so we can...
Wow.
I feel like it's so hard to see what Buster is doing from the back.
Yeah, for sure. So both of the characters that we've seen so far are front characters. That is to say that in a team comp, they basically are holding the vanguard against the opponent. So they're moving forward and they're demanding attention. So for them, the most important skills for front players are good reaction speed, good awareness, and dueling ability. But for back players, the most important things tend to be decision making, and situational awareness, and that sort of thing. So when you see the back players, it'll be a pretty different ballgame. Actually, do you want to see Montero? I think Montero plays a little slower. So actually,
you know what? Sure. It's good to swap between teams.
Exactly.
Let's watch the on the ad. I will add. Yeah, I got it.
So we've got Montero.
We are watching good old Montero. This
character is an iconically good character in this game.
Yes, he's very popular.
He was he's kind of like the Terminator. He was a backport. He's from a newer version of the game that wasn't part of the original release. He's come back from the future to put an end to the darkness and oppression of the current top tiers. Basically, the way this character works is that his iconic move is now. We just saw it. The whip. The whip is what makes him really, really good. Because many situations where characters are unpunishable become punishable with the power of Montero.
So one thing about this game is that normally the way that you avoid shots in this game is by moving in a horizontal way, which is to say that horizontal tracking in this game is not very strong. So that move is almost impossible to stop with horizontal movement. So you must either make a huge jump over it, or you have to block it essentially. Yeah,
which is really, really miserable in a game where you constantly want to move. So this character, his role is that he plays a lot like a sniper. He's very good in many regards, but his weakness is that he's pretty slow, and his damage forcing ability is not very high. He likes to play slow matches.
He wants to play a nice, very slow, measured match, but he also has, one very important thing for backsuits is how well they can defend themselves against, the front vanguard trying to aggress them. And Montero, we'll see if we see it or not, but Montero has very good tools.
He has a really good way to protect himself from people going around him. So, but But positioning-wise, he is literally
right there.
There we go. That's one big move. So it's his windmill where he just spins his blade. That is a very difficult move to challenge him. So even though it's risky for him to do, it's got hit by the super. That's a big deal.
So yeah, that move has.
It's actually surprisingly even at the moment.
It is. Well, yeah.
Okay.
I would say that
burst. So the burst will decide everything.
Yeah, this burst honestly, you can get another hit on Buster.
It depends on what they do to Buster right now. I believe Buster has Zito.
Okay.
Keep Buster. Good burst usage.
This is looking okay. Montero really needs to make something happen with his burst right
Montero
now.
needs to use his burst before the match ends, otherwise it's a waste of resources. And he's going up.
Okay. Oh, this is looking very rough.
Doing a good job running away.
So yeah, Buster. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, it was kind of hard to see who won that for a moment.
Full saver. Okay.
Okay, full saver.
Full saver. That's pretty cool. And now I think let's watch that character is fucking cool too. So I want to.
Yeah. Buster is. He is a walking artillery. He has everything. He has. If there is a projectile type in this game, Buster has it.
Yeah, this man's shooting. Like we're talking about.
Blasting.
I think oftentimes when people think of a support character in a game like this, they think of a guy.
Yeah, they think of the healing and shielding and buffing.
Just shooting.
No.
And you know what? Huh?
I don't know, I was saying that when we talk about support in this game, we mean fire support.
Yeah, man. Like, we're talking, like, artillery support. And that's exactly what Buster does. This man is going to stand 10 miles away and shoot the shit out of you. Like,
blast you.
If he hits you, you might just fucking die. This character hurts like hell. The trade-off is that his ability is even fucking worse than Montero.
Yeah, well, the trade-off is that Buster can only defend himself by shooting people. He has nothing.
Exactly. Most of his defensive, he has some powerful defensive techniques, but they're tied to shooting, so he basically just has to constantly be shooting.
And so the other thing is that Full Saber, one of the powerful things about that suit is that it has a very good move where it moves forward and melees you and also has shooting guard. So for a Buster player, that's basically your worst nightmare.
Though Buster does have like mines and stuff, so he does have answers to that. But
he does have answers, but it is.
We see the situation of Buster where if he gets too close and he can't get away, things can get ugly for this dude fast. He's not that healthy, so people just beat the hell out of him and he just has to like sit there and take it. He's reliant on Turner bailing him out. That's a big one.
So what's very interesting about Buster is that most suits have this is a 4-button game, and one of your buttons is usually the melee button, which is E. Buster's E button does not let him melee. It simply lets him change ammo.
This dude physically can't punch you even if he wants to. Like, it's pretty wild.
He cannot swing on you.
But who needs that when you shoot like this?
Oh, no.
But yeah, we're currently seeing a pretty solid formation of just Camphor's in the front and Buster is kind of moving behind him and just shooting. And now the enemy team, in order to win, has to move through Camphor into Buster. That being said, it's actually still relatively close just because both Buster and Camphor are really well caught up. Burst them out. Okay, I believe ZGMF is going to have burst off this, so the burst change everything. Unless Camphor just dies before you burst. That also means it also moves on that.
With a double 1.5k team, it is just,
that team, yeah.
They effectively have a lot of HP, but because it's so low, it can really just go anywhere, depending, because you can just die off of 2 hits.
It's true. That character, in general, the thing with the 1.5k, the dynamic that we're going to see between these two teams is that Full Saber Montero is a team that wants to play as slow as possible and as stable as possible. And Buster Camphor is a team that has no choice but to play explosively in a volatile manner.
Yeah,
so we are really seeing a clash of ideologies here.
Yeah, so this is a team that says, hey, we want to play a nice, slow game where hits happen occasionally. The other team is saying, hey, the only way for us to win is by violence and by making things happen now.
Exactly. So do you want to go back to Full Saber now that we...
Yeah, let's go back to Full Saber.
Alright, so ZGMF is playing pretty stable. Moving in on Buster, which is a good thing to do. It's forcing Camphor to respond to him. Camphor right out on top of him though, so proving that you can't keep your eyes off Camphor for too long.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and explain the burst system a little bit?
What's that?
Do you want to go ahead and explain the burst system a little bit while we have the chance?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it before we actually burst, right? So, in this game, meter usage is you use meter 3 ways. Or rather, use meter the same way every time. There's only one way you can use meter, which is you spend it to enter an install mode, like a power-up mode. And depending on what burst, there's 3 different power-ups you can take, and each of them
are very different. So the first one is F burst, which enhances your movement speed and allows you to like force melee interactions. The second one is S burst, which we're seeing right now, which allows you to rapid fire all guns. And then the last one is E burst, which lets you get out of jail free, as we're just seeing right now. He's flipping out. It's a combo break, effectively.
Yeah, it lets you combo break it. So technically, every single burst in the game lets you combo break. If you have a full bar, but with extend burst, you can break a combo with only half of it, which is very important for trying to play defense.
Exactly, and it's really it allows you to use your meter more efficiently. So basically, each characters oftentimes have the best burst. Some characters can do other ones, but the most important thing is that in burst. Oh wow, I can't believe I got hit. In burst, it's basically your chance to impact the match. If you get 3 good bursts and your opponent gets 0, then you're probably gonna.
Nah, that's the end of the game.
Oh man, speaking of good bursts.
Ooh, this is gonna hurt.
Oh my god, 300? And is he gonna get punched for this? Oh my goodness.
That's full saver. Good luck punching that.
Goodness gracious. No, I meant all. Oh man. And oh my goodness, and he only gets melee damage, and then he gets cut right out of his burst. Oh
no, this camper super. Nice block, nice block.
From ZGMF defending against the camper burst. Oh, nice. So last minute using his flipping daggers to avoid.
Oh my goodness, ZGMF is going ham.
ZGMF is popping off.
He's popping off right now. Let's go.
Man, it's popping off.
All right, and he's got health to spare, so he should just go ahead and let Montero die.
So what he's doing is he's kind of playing more defensive so his partner can die, which is really smart because it allows them to use their team HP most efficiently.
Yes, and so when your partner dies, you actually get some burst back. So whenever you're kind of like in a lull in the action, it's good to go ahead and not let your partner die, but let your partner die so you can get some burst.
And in that situation, you're seeing one of the weaknesses of Buster, which is that he actually just cannot run away that long. Man is slow. Like, if you're being chased down by 2 guys, your partner has to bail you out, and it really is only a matter of time before your war crimes catch.
As a 1.5k, you have less boost than everybody else, but especially with Buster, you don't even have any movement tools.
Yeah,
all of your tools make you stop moving, so
man is fucking slow.
He's very slow.
Yeah, definitely full saver character who is he has the power to win almost every interaction. It's just up to the player to bring it out.
It is, yeah.
Right, so who are we looking at now? Do camper again?
Yeah, let's look at camper again. I mean,
or we should look at the entirely new character.
Yeah, okay, let's watch the see. Let's watch the see.
All right, let's just see. This guy had a movie
cool. Very cool.
Let's watch this dude.
So yes, this exhibition is not suit locked. So
this character is really unique. He's the first we're seeing in this exhibition. He is a power-up character. So a non-meter. So the way he works is he is slow and he is shitty, and then he gets powered up, and then he is fast as fuck.
Once he is powered up, he is quite possibly one of the fastest suits in the game. You're about to see it now, his Nazi Craft power-up move. Well, ZGMF lets him get off the ground, right?
Yeah, this guy, ZGMF knows what's up. He's like, you are not getting close.
Alright, here we go. Oh no, oh no!
Oh my god, is he actually just gonna kill him before he gets...
There we go, okay, so now he can...
So in this, basically, the she goes from being pretty like whatever to man, this man's fast. Look at this guy, and that's really cool because it basically means that you cannot hit him unless he screws up, which means that he just has free reign to go ape shit and fly all over it. I would say this character's iconic moves are he has remote controlled missiles that he sends at you, and then he also has a big ass laser beam right there. One of the highest that move right there is one of the highest performance lasers. Oh, burst from ZGMF. Oh,
very good. Burst from ZGMF. Wow.
257? Man, you got it.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah, this is pretty ugly because Kishi's mode's about to come up. And he's got S first, so he could be big.
So.
Oh, is he gonna get unblockable? Oh no! ZGMF gets underneath him, so he isn't able to get a good damage on him because being underneath him screws up his targeting. Oh, but he catches Myles, so actually the burst is worth it. Eliminate.
So, Shar's partner is actually very healthy right now, so this is actually not as bad as it was. Even though he's very low.
For the team HP, all Shar's now is chill and allow his partner to pick up.
ZGMF with burst!
ZGMF!
And full saber burst.
3, and like that, things have gone from good to fucking
he's fighting for his life.
This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying that burst means everything. All it takes is one for winning. That man bursted, and suddenly, everything changes. Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, it just comes down to your burst is your ability to affect, essentially like force your game plan on the game. Whereas before burst, you kind of have to, there's a back and forth between spending and losing boosts. But when you have burst, you essentially get free boost. So you can enforce your game plan on the other player because
the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, the game very strictly follows a set of rules of like, everything that you do costs your resource. When your resource, using your resource badly will lead you to get punished. But in burst, your resource disappears basically. You can just do whatever the fuck and force an interaction massively on your turn. So we love it.
So now we're going to be looking at Excelia, which is a 2.5 cost support suit.
She's a lot like Buster, but lower cost, but higher cost, I should say. So she's like Buster. Her mobility is significantly better than his.
But what Buster has in firepower, Excelia has in versatility. She has a shield that she can put on her partner. She has a multifaceted special shooting that can do up to 4 different effects.
And we just saw the shield go out just now. This character is very, very, very support oriented. The shooting power is actually, arguably, is lower than Buster. But
it is definitely lower than Buster's. Unlike Buster, she has...
The unique tools of this character cannot be understood.
Very unique tools, and though the main thing, I would say the signature move of this suit that you're seeing is her charge shot, which is that sweeping pink beam that she fires. Buster has the same beam as well, but Excelia's it comes out a lot faster and it's a lot more maneuverable.
Yeah.
So it's easier to land on unsuspecting targets.
But and so this character really thrives at the range that we're seeing right now, which is kind of offering a fire support role. And she just like kind of stays in the back and shoots, and someone has to go deal with her. Otherwise, you're just going to get like gunned down. But the one problem with this character though is that as soon as someone looks at her, she is the victim. Like this character is very, very small and cannot defend herself without giving up ground.
Similar to Buster, everything she does requires her to stop moving. So in order to play Excelia well, you need to have very good situational awareness. You need to be constantly looking at both players and making sure that you don't put yourself in a dangerous spot.
And your positioning needs to be good. The number one thing that cannot be overstated is the positioning on the character is so important.
Positioning is so good. So right now, especially, the Excelia player is Excelia is very, very low. So we need to...
ZGMF is going right for Excelia right now?
Yep. Here it comes!
Is he gonna get punished for this?
Oh, man.
Yep, and he got it.
You got it?
And now,
so as I was saying
before, but Excelia doesn't beat her. So everything we did, first, okay, on the next hit, it's over for Excelia and over for this team. So
they need to play
the next couple seconds is going to decide everything.
Oh yeah. This is still very good because it's anybody's game right now.
Shields up on Excelia. Excelia can't put the shields on himself. But they're out now. Oh man, that was really close actually. You know,
yeah. Oh man, this
is it. Oh my god! Someone runs into the laser.
No. Oh man, that was like I said. This game, you can't make any mistakes. You can't make any mistakes.
Why would you do
so unfortunate.
No! Why would you do that?
Well, what's very cool about Excelia, all of Excelia's special shooting moves
what's
is
very
that
cool
she has armor.
Man's gonna say what's very cool about Excelia. Go on, no, go on, keep talking.
I was saying what's very cool about Excelia is that all of her special shooting moves, they all have armor on the startup, so in order to stop her from doing them, you actually have to get a full down and make her fall to the floor. Otherwise, unfortunately, things like that can happen to you.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Can we stop the exhibition? I don't want to watch it anymore. Oh, fuck this shit.
Oh my god. Yeah, let's watch
Montero. Montero's role against this team is very different than it was in the previous one. In the previous comp that we saw, the enemy team was playing incredibly aggressively, or their game plan would be to dive into the enemy force. However, in this situation, Montero needs to be playing a more proactive role because he needs to be providing support.
The biggest thing in this matchup is that Excelia, her firepower needs to be suppressed, otherwise she's going to run her down. Montero, even though it's a lower cost than Excelia, he still needs to put a little bit of... He needs to put some threat on Excelia, otherwise she's going to run buck wild with all of her extremely powerful shooting tools.
Absolutely. As she is doing right now.
Right now, I mean, Excelia is running absolutely wild.
Myles is holding strong defensive positioning at the moment, though. Which
Yeah, Myles is playing. I mean, his positioning is fine, but yeah, it is unfortunate that you're playing against a team like Excelia. It needs to be pressured, otherwise it will decimate.
It is a complicated macro situation as well, because you also have to consider he's install, and you need to be playing around with you. Because when he's fast, he's gotta like right now, it is in your best interest to just defend yourself. Because that man, if he decides to run over you and shoot you, you have to be able to use them.
Okay.
Oh no, but his partner's right there to save him.
Yep.
Shar doing a good job of
So yeah, that is honestly one of the things about this game that's very important, is that you need to be very careful when making aggressive actions against somebody, because their partner can always support them. So it's never 1v1. It's always 2v2.
Yeah, Shar is actually doing an amazing job of bodyguarding his teammates.
Yes.
Which is the correct way to play this game. We're seeing a really good example of players playing their macro situations. Yeah. ZGMF gets the kill on Shar. At this point, I think in order for them to win, they're going to have to kill Shar first. I don't think it's feasible for them to kill
It's not feasible to get through as many bursts.
Because of burst, anything is possible. But Shar burst at the same time. So now, because he's in burst, he used his burst to defend against ZGMF. ZGMF isn't able to kill him, and Shar manages to quickly kill Myles.
Yeah, wow, that was a very, very decisive looking game from Shar. I mean, but it really just comes down to, like you said, the macro is extremely on point for them, running a I formation Excelia, where Excelia is just taking constant fire support on the enemy team. And so yeah, I definitely think hopefully in the next match they'll maybe try to move up a little bit more and contest. Yeah.
Alright, so who do you want to look at next?
I don't know. Do you want to look at Full Saber again to see if see how ZGMF
I want to see how ZGMF adapts to this match.
Yes.
Because the gameplay that he was running last time was not working. So
no.
Let's see how it's going. Like I said, Full Saber is a very flexible character, but he has one thing that isn't flexible, which is that he has playing modes. He's able to play flexibly in the sense that he can play aggressively or defensively incredibly well. But
characters he can play
ooh, nice. Oh, but Excelia,
Excelia is great coverage.
And Shar are playing this really clean in terms of macro.
Yeah, they're honestly, their formation is very, very good.
Yeah, they're protecting each other. Like whenever ZGMF goes to one of them, the other one is right there to protect them. That's one of the amazing things about this game, and the 2v2 nature of it.
So there's kind of like two philosophies when it comes to team play. You can kind of create, if your suits are very strong at dueling, you can create kind of like a double 1v1 situation, or you might want to create a, like C and Excelia are playing a very, very tight formation. They're trying to keep it 2v2, right? So.
But yeah, in fact, in a way, the roles are reversed, because in the first team comp we were seeing, it was very much in Shar and Doriru's favor to be causing chaos, but now it's the opposite. ZGMF is the one who wants to. Oh shit! That was pretty wild. If ZGMF not, it would have been all kinds of ugly. Holy shit!
So right now, okay, well, C died first, but this is, Excelia has very low HP right now, which is very, very scary.
Hugely in the favor of ZGMF. Oh, but he's first with the shield.
Very good burst.
Is ZGMF gonna die? Oh, he got saved by the bell. Holy shit.
ZGMF is, I mean, still Excelia. Oh, man.
ZGMF going right for the bell. Oh, nice. Is that it? Oh, no, he's gonna finish it.
He didn't finish it.
What?
Okay.
But he has plenty of health, and it's looking hella good.
Shar is going to have to work extremely hard to protect Excelia.
I'm amazed that worked. Holy shit.
ZGMF has burst. Like, he's going to go straight to Excelia.
Yeah, ZGMF literally maybe did on purpose, man. Kirby more snake. Oh, never mind.
Alright, Montero finishes off. Okay.
In that situation, I think Montero probably. I think there was probably no way that Excelia, the resources were just too far.
Yeah, I mean, that huge. So, again, like, you can take so much damage in this game so fast. So, when the enemy has burst, especially the front, you really need to be careful and aware. So, like you saw there, I mean, Excelia took 338, and then, what was that, like 2 seconds?
Oh, man. Yeah, this game is definitely just like shit happening, man. Like, shit's happening.
So, that is going to be. Yeah, so that's going to be the end of the set. I mean, great, really good games from both players. You really saw that, the matches, just because you won one match doesn't mean you're going to win the second match. There's so much that can change from a macro decision-making perspective in between games that you really got to stay on your toes.
Yeah, man. No, this game is shit. And I think that was a really wonderful first match. I think we got to see a lot of fast
Yeah.
is the game and was the game. So
I really like
I'm
this
ready.
how we got from we went from a more scrambly game to we got to see some formation play. So
Exactly. So thanks to the guys for playing. That was really godlike of you guys. Because now I don't have to